Good afternoon.
Okay, there is a line there. Can I ask you to limit it to like less than a minute?
Sure.
If you're going to speak, or you can just say oppose, or if you'd like to do that. Do you want to start?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Patty Herrera, representing Riverside County Schools. For the reasons, the concerns articulated over the expansion of the scope of bargaining, we also have an opposed to the bill. We are also concerned about the decoupling of student achievement standards to evaluation systems that we articulated in our letter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mira Morton here on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce, also in opposition for the reasons already stated.
Thank you. You were very short.
Bill Lucia with that voice. We've provided detailed letter with our concerns in opposition. We appreciate the staff's listening, but we still have some very strong, bright line concerns in opposition.
Thank you.
Good morning. Brett Barley, Students First, also in opposition for the reasons detailed in our letter. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Jeff Frost, California Association of Suburban School Districts, and the Orange County Department of Education in opposition.
Thank you.
Kim Lewis, representing Families and Schools, and unfortunately opposed to the bill for the reasons stated in our letter as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra Morales, representing the County Superintendents Association, in opposition to this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, Hannah Lincoln Hoker on behalf of Students Matter. We've been working with your staff on, we'd like to move to a support position. We currently oppose, and we're hoping for a quick exception. We have LAUSD Teacher of the Year, Kat Chuko, up, and she has a personal story and a position on the bill that she'd like to share, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, legislators. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be here to advocate on behalf of my students. And I agree with so many of the statements made in this bill, and I think it's really going to benefit teachers and students. I commend you, Senator Lieu, for putting forward a bill that has multiple measures, multiple observations, and allows the use of student data. That's so important. Also, getting rid of that antiquated Stoll Act and evaluating teachers on a continuum always helps us to be able to try to move into that more effective or most effective bracket. And we'd really like to see, in order for this to fit with the recommendations set forth under the Vergara ruling, in order to provide high quality access to instruction for all our students, regardless of the neighborhood they live in and their socioeconomic status, that the clauses that still remain in the bill that can grandfather in exceptions for bargaining at the local level between districts and unions be removed, so that all students have access to this tremendous evaluation system that you're proposing, and we make sure that there are no exceptions in any schools in the state of California.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any senators like to make a comment? Yes. Senator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Senator Lieu, for bringing this bill forward. I think it is much needed, and I think it goes a long way in resolving a lot of issues. I just wanted to address a couple of comments. The gentleman who made them, he may still be in the room, he may not be. When, I think it's always interesting that whenever there's something that, the opposition doesn't like, the first thing we're going to throw out there is that costly retiree health care and higher wages. Well, God forbid that we want someone to put in 30, 35, 40 years of their life working to better our students and the future for all of us, and then we don't want to pay them retiree health care. That's just absurd. I do know very well that retiree health care is extremely expensive. I spent many years of my life negotiating those benefits. So we can find a way to make that better. And higher wages. God forbid our teachers can actually pay their bills and come to school and educate the future and not be worried about paying their bills. And I think it's just absurd to say that teacher unions would propose lower standards. Does anyone really think that the teachers union wants teachers to fail, that they want teachers to not do a good job? If our teachers don't do a good job and they're not successful, our children aren't successful. So I just wanted to make those points. And to the school administrator who said they're not union, someone might be able to help you out with that if you feel like you need to be represented. So thank you very much, Senator Lieu, for bringing this forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Liu, thank you for bringing this bill forward. As a former classroom teacher, I dealt with a stall before, and it's an interesting process, but it doesn't very antiquated. It needs to be updated. I appreciate my colleagues' comments as far as I don't see how it being bargained can lead to lower standards. That kind of threw me away there. I was like, wow. And also there was mentioned that the districts are held accountable for the progress of their students. I mean, we're all held accountable. We're held accountable. We as teachers are held accountable. So I just think it's not a fair statement. But I've been in the classroom for those full-time 10 years. I've seen firsthand how the stall process works. Being stalled myself, it's a process that really needs to be updated. It doesn't take many things into account. It didn't really focus in on the overall picture of what teachers do day in and day out. I just think it's very necessary, but I don't want to. I think this bill needs to move out of this committee, continue the process, and continue the input, both of the opponents as well as the proponents, and hopefully it'll come to a resolution where we could all be happy. But it should, at least it starts here. At least the discussion gets to happen here. The stall process was enacted back in 1971, which is an amazing year, by the way. I really liked that year. Yeah, I really love that year. But besides that, it's my favorite year. I do think that the stall process needs to be updated. So thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you, Senator.
And I move the bill.
Oh, one more?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question. Did you say that although the contracts will be bargained locally, that the elements in the bargaining system cannot be bargained away?
Yes, yeah. There are basic bottom line issues in an evaluation system that we have identified, just like the LCAP plan, those 8 elements, those things cannot, that's the floor. Okay, those things cannot be bargained out of a negotiated settlement.
Yeah,
So you could only raise the bar.
Yeah, to me, that's a very interesting and important thing, and should soothe the concerns, I would think, of some of the opposition. I just wanted to also thank Senator Liu and all the people who came to the table to get us this far. And I want to underscore that on page 12 of the analysis, it talks about that we need to specify the intent of the legislature to provide adequate resources to train evaluators, have robust teacher induction programs. I think that is critical. We lose almost half our beginning teachers because of the fact that they counsel themselves out in a few years because they work so hard in such difficult circumstances and often don't get the support and coaching that we give every football team from high school on. And we ought to really realize the importance of our teachers. And then also to support struggling educators. And I would say, echoing the words of the man I worked for during the 1990s, Secretary of Education Dick Riley, you want to hold them accountable as professionals, treat them as professionals, and pay them as professionals, because they are, and they do some of the most difficult and demanding and creative work in our society. But thank you for getting us this far, and we'll continue to work on the bill. I'll certainly support it today.
Thank you very much. So just in closing, or unless there's other questions from members. Evaluation is very difficult, but I do know that to be effective and trying to create a system that honors the work of teachers, it is very difficult. And so we're trying to create a system that rewards or continuously improves the craft of teaching. And we find that the bargaining issue is very difficult for some folks who are opposed to the bill. But there has to be buy-in from teachers. And, for us to see this, the buy-in is for them to be at the table to discuss what it is that, that they feel that they can reach and goals that they can seek together. So we find that their voice needs to be heard and heard loudly. And school districts which have strong teacher evaluation systems like Long Beach, which some of us have visited before, San Juan Unified and San Jose, these systems have been bargained hard at the table. And we know that through the experience that they have had, that we know that through their collective bargaining process, they have resulted in effective induction programs and professional development programs and things that we want to see our teachers grow. So with that, this is a conversation that has started, has been going on for a while, but has a long way to go. And I hope that the committee sees fit to endorse the concept that we need to move and improve our teachers' ability to perform their task in the classrooms today. So I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Liu. The motion, okay, Senator.
Okay. Do pass as amended to appropriations. Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Runner?
No.
Runner, no. Block? Hancock? Hancock, aye. Leyva? Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Monning? Pan? Vidak? Vidak, no. That's 4-2. Open.
4-2, and the last bill of the afternoon is item 7, Senator Mendoza, SB 329.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senators, I'm here to present SB 329. First, I will begin by accepting the amendments on page 4 of the analysis to remove the provisions that allow a school district and county office of education to deny a charter petition when the charter school would have a negative fiscal impact on the school district. SB 329 establishes public accountability and transparency standards for charter schools by tightening conflict of interest policies, adding assessments to ensure that school district staff has the capacity to conduct oversight, requiring an assessment of anticipated financial and education impacts on nearby public schools to be considered. Charter schools throughout the state of California provide an alternative to standard public education for many students. Although charter schools contribute to our state's public education, there must still be oversight to ensure that children are receiving the best possible education. Unfortunately, we have seen cases in which there have been small school districts with only 30 students in the district authorizing charter schools that enrolls up to 3,000. This means that staff levels appropriate to oversee 30 students are reasonable for conducting oversight for a school that serves 100 times its size is really unreasonable. SB 329 requires school districts to consider whether school district staff has a capacity to conduct proper oversight of a charter school that they authorize. Additionally, this bill will bring transparency to public education and guard against any conflict of interest, establishing that charter schools are subject to the same regulations and competitive bidding as traditional public schools. Although charter schools offer an alternative education option to meet the needs of our children across the state, it is critical that they operate with the students' best interests in mind. This bill seeks to bring accountability and transparency to these institutions. We have witnesses in support, Madam Chair.
Please.
Madam Chair and Senators, Seth Bramble here on behalf of the California Teachers Association, proud to co-sponsor this important legislation. I'm just going to talk about two pieces of the bill. One about the capacity of an authorizer to do effective oversight, and another about the impact on neighborhood schools. We have been having conversations with the administrators, with school boards, with the Charter Schools Association, with classified school staff to bring forward the best policy. And I know that this committee last week considered a bill by Senator Pavley, which was about a very small authorizer that placed a charter school outside of its school district.
Right.
And what I want to clarify is that that wasn't an isolated incident, that there are several tiny districts throughout this state where they're authorizing charter schools where they don't have either the capacity to do that kind of oversight. And so I know that my colleague from California Virtual Academy is going to talk some about their structure and some similar things that we've seen in different areas with authorizers across the state. But the questions we were proposing as stakeholders is, number one, like, what are the, let's better define what exactly are your responsibilities and obligations with respect to oversight. And number two, what do you need to have in place to carry out those duties? And so what this bill suggests is that when you're considering what kind of support you have from parents, from teachers to establish a new charter school based on the petition, that you also consider a report about your capacity, which hopefully will be useful in determining what staff you have in place to do that important oversight work. Do you need to build new structures? Do you need to have new staff, et cetera? We were pleased to see that in the opposition letter from the Charter Schools Association, that it appeared they agreed on that point, that it would be useful for a school district to assess how it will conduct oversight. Additionally, this bill suggests that when a new charter petition comes forward, we also consider what the impact is going to be on other school districts, other schools where the district has oversight capacity. In most cases, charter schools are authorized by a school district, although we recognize some could be authorized by a county office, some by the state board. The idea is that the authorizer takes a look at their charter schools, takes a look at their traditional public schools in efforts to provide better coordination, and develops a plan for all the schools that they're responsible for oversight, looking at things like the geographic distribution of schools, projected demographic changes, and that new charter petitions that come forward are evaluated in respect to how they impact that plan. What we have seen from voters is that before any charter schools approve, voters would love us to conduct an analysis of the impact that the school will have on neighborhood public schools. The public doesn't want their great neighborhood public school harmed by decisions that are made by their elected officials. In the polling data we see, basically it's that school down the street, 2 blocks down, where I send my kids, has a great performing arts program, has a wonderful library, has a science lab. Whatever you're doing as a district, don't impact this great neighborhood school. So what is this bill about? This bill is about what all Californians want, which is a great school in every neighborhood. We urge your aye vote.
Thank you. Others in support?
Yes, Madam Chair and Senators. Senator Mendoza, happy birthday. My name is Jen Shilen. I am a history teacher at California Virtual Academies, a large online charter school with about 700 teachers and over 15,000 students across the state, via 11 charter school petitions with 11 charter governing boards. It's a complicated structure, very different from my past teaching assignment at the Elk Grove Unified School District. As CAVA teachers, 80 to 90% of our work week is consumed with paperwork, leaving us with just a few hours per week for instructional time with our students. The clerical duties we are given prevent teachers from teaching and prevent students from learning. At this point, you are asking why. Why is CAVA not hiring clerical staff? That is what the representative from the California Charter Schools Association asked last week on a hearing for a different bill. Why aren't teachers given time to teach? Why does CAVA keep students on the attendance roll sheets that only go online for 1 minute a day? It has everything to do with profit. It has everything to do with lack of oversight, and it has everything to do with Senate Bill 329. Firstly, profit. One of CAVA's main purposes is to provide revenue for its manager and primary vendor, K-12 Incorporated, a publicly traded company. Not only is this for-profit corporation the manager of each CAVA board's school funds, but the company pays itself for services out of CAVA bank accounts that it is authorized to manage. That is not how this is supposed to work. Last year, CAVA teachers voted to unionize because we know we can do better to improve educational outcomes for our students. And we believe that as teachers, we have a responsibility to transform CAVA into a place where kids can thrive. Understand, please, that I work at a public school where the agreements of the 11 charter petitions limit competitive bidding. The CAVA locations are prohibited from seeking another vendor for services K-12 Incorporated is able to provide. The agendas for these governing board meetings are identical across locations and are provided to the boards of each location by CAVA's head of schools, who is a K-12 incorporated employee. I have only been at CAVA less than 3 years, but the more I look at the structure, the more systematic problems I see. Senate Bill 329 will require competitive bidding. This will mean that the money that is currently being sent out of state to please shareholders and the money that pays for the lead administrator's $4 million annual salary will instead be dedicated to the classrooms here in California. I never imagined I would work for such a place, and now I am working to transform it. No matter which metric you use, CAVA is not performing well academically, despite having a smaller population than the rest of California of English learners and socioeconomically disadvantaged students. Of course, when teachers are not allowed to teach and money goes to maximize enrollment and advertising, it is clear why students struggle. In every year except 2013, CAVA had more dropouts than graduates. In the last 3 years for which data is available from 2010, 2011 through 2012, 2013, CAVA's overall graduation rate was 36%. That's compared with the same time period, the state of California's graduation rate was 78. As I explained, CAVA exists in California through 11 charter petitions and 11 authorizers. Let's take a closer look at a couple of those authorizers. CAVA likes to use tiny rural school districts for authorizers. These districts have limited capacity and motivation to do effective oversight. CAVA at San Diego serves over 3,000 students and is authorized by Spencer Valley Elementary School District, which has a core population of 30 students. CAVA San Joaquin serves 1,596 students and is authorized by New Jerusalem Elementary School District, which has a core population of just 23 students. Additionally, New Jerusalem School District authorizes several other charter schools that together serve another almost 2,000 students. So I want to respond to the gentleman from the Charter School Association who asked last week why the authorizer is not holding CAVA accountable. The school district does not have the ability to hold CAVA accountable. To force CAVA to spend money on kids and classrooms, SB 329 will provide this motivation for these authorizers to look within, to do some soul searching, to see if they have people in place to do the oversight that they're required to do by law, and to ensure that the charter petition is being followed, to make sure there are clerical staff in place so that teachers have time to teach. Thank you for hearing our story.
Thank you.
Hi, and I'm Mark Holtzbeck. I'm a special education teacher teaching high school to California Virtual Academies. I teach mostly Northern California, but I teach, my students come on statewide. I want to thank Senator Mendoza for coming forward with this bill that addresses the need for charter school oversight. I think we've had a lot of discussions about the fact that there are good charter schools and there are bad charter schools. As a special education teacher, I was concerned when I saw some of the ways that CAVA was handling their special education students, and so I've joined in our efforts to reform our school. We have gone forward to the authorizers and to our administrators at our school and to our authorizers in an effort to address these concerns, and we have not been able to get any action on these. The authorizers pretty much have not done anything that there is, even though we were able to express a lot of our concerns. So I urge you to vote yes on this, an aye vote, and to move this needed legislation forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Others in support?
Madam Chair, members, Nancy Chaitis Espinosa with the California School Boards Association. As you know, current law does not allow a local educational agency to deny a charter petition, even if that school board or county office knows that doing so would result in negative certification, or if they know they simply don't have that capacity to provide the necessary oversight. This bill would provide that ability, which we think is very important. And in some areas where there's declining enrollment, or we have small or rural school districts, for example, this is a particularly important issue. So we respectfully ask for your support for this measure.
Thank you. Excuse me. Others in support of the bill? Please come forward or stand at the microphone.
Jeff Johnston. I'm a teacher in Lodi Unified School District, and I rise in support of SB 329. because it does put in place an accountability measure for authorizing agencies to exercise fiduciary responsibility.
Thank you.
Peter Manette, classroom teacher from Nevada County, Penn Valley School District. We've also had small local districts chartering schools even outside of our county. We still have a situation where a local school district, small district, has a charter outside of the county and basically calls a substantial amount of income from the 2% overhead that they're allowed to charge.
Thank you.
If it's not obvious, I speak in favor of 329.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Erin Evans on behalf of the School Employers Association of California. We're in support of the bill, and I would just like to echo the comments that have been already made by my colleague at the School Boards Association. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, any others in support? Anyone opposed to the bill? Please come forward and fill these chairs.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Rand Martin on behalf of the California Charter Schools Association. We really appreciate the work of the committee and certainly the author in agreeing to take out the negative fiscal impact portion of the bill. That was the biggest part of the bill that we objected to, but we are still very concerned about the bidding practices piece. I do want to point out that as Mr. Bramble indicated, we do think the idea of the school district doing some analysis on their capacity to do oversight is really helpful. And we think that they should be doing that. Not as a reason to reject the charter, but so they can prepare themselves to do the right thing when the charter is authorized and they make sure that they put the right resources into it. I do want to comment on one of the comments that one of the CAVA representatives made about the oversight of the charter schools from tiny school districts. For those who may not be aware, charter schools have to pay anywhere from 1% to 3% of their revenue to the oversight district. So a very tiny school district that's authorizing a school that has 3,000 students in San Diego is bringing in $300,000 from the charter school. I think that's enough money to pay for sufficient resources to be doing aggressive oversight. I think, Madam Chair, in your comments on SB 322 earlier today, really hit the nail on the head relative to that bill and this bill. So the problem is really about oversight. And as you've instructed us, and I've taken it back to CCSA, let's see if we can come up with some ideas to strengthen oversight. But clearly, resources is not a problem. We're paying a lot of money to school districts to make sure that we're doing our job. On the issue of bidding practices, again, as we've talked about in other bills, we'd like to know what the problem is. We understand why the proponents are motivated to do this. We've heard the testimony from CAVA here and elsewhere, the CAVA teachers here and elsewhere, that they have an interest in their relationship with K-12 that operates their schools. But there's 1,184 charter schools, and why we're changing the law relative to bidding practices when there may be a problem at one of those schools or 11 of those schools, depending on how you count it, again, doesn't make sense to us. There's a lot of onerous and burdensome stuff in the bidding practices law. I used to represent school districts, and school districts also hate this law and would like to see it eased in many ways. So why we extend that to charter schools that are in less of a position to be able to do that does not make sense to us. If there is a specific problem, let's deal with a specific problem, but let's please not make a blanket change to the statute simply because somebody is having a dispute within one charter school. Thank you.
Thank you. Others in opposition?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Ana Ponce. I come from Camino Nuevo Charter Academy in Los Angeles, and I'm here today to ask you to...
And people who are talking in favor of this do not clearly state the name of the Charter Academy. Oh, if you wouldn't mind,
okay.
another.
Sure, of course. Camino Nuevo Charter Academy in Los Angeles. Camino Nuevo, it's Spanish, yeah.
I know it's Spanish and I understand Spanish. When it all runs together, it's a little hard.
Okay. So let me get a little closer here. So Ana Ponce from Camino Nuevo Charter Academy in Los Angeles, and I'm here to ask you to oppose SB 329. This bill will re-regulate charter schools and make them subject to competitive bidding practices without a justified cost. Camino Nuevo was founded in 2000, and our approach to education is comprehensive. We take students from pre-K through high school and prepare them for success in college and in life. We are a very inclusive community that brings in the families and does a lot of work with the communities to ensure the success of our students. We serve primarily English language learners, and most of our students, over 95%, qualify for free and reduced lunch. So I think we're definitely serving some of the populations that are allegedly not served by charter schools. I appreciate that the committee recommends and that Senator Mendoza has agreed to remove the most harmful provision in the bill, which would allow school districts and county boards of education to deny charters if there is a negative fiscal impact. This would have allowed school districts to put their bottom line above the needs of students and parents at a time when we have over 100,000 students on charter school waiting lists across the state. However, the fact remains that SB 329 continues to seek to re-regulate charter schools. Under the bill, charter schools would be subject to the competitive bidding practices used by school districts, and thus takes away their flexibility and ability to select products and vendors that are the best fit for the charter school. Charter school authorizers already review charter schools' finances. We submit regular reports, required reports. We submit our annual budget, our unaudited financials, as well as our audits. And we're also required to have fiscal policies as part of our fiscal management, and the authorizers approve those practices. If a school district or a county board of education believes that a charter school is misusing funds, they do have the right to investigate and to request a different action. And if charter schools don't comply, the authorizer can revoke the charter. And so we already have processes in place, we already have expectations, and I think that, you know, charter schools and authorizers are trying to definitely follow the law, and to take one example and to impose it on every charter school, I don't think is a fair practice. In addition to the fact that authorizers can currently review charter schools' purchasing and finances overall, the provision takes away the charter school's autonomy and will slow down their purchasing processes, which can directly impact meeting the needs of kids in a timely manner. For these reasons, SB 329 is unnecessary, and I ask you to oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Quickly, please, others opposed to the bill, come forward to the microphone.
Brett Barley, Students First, in opposition.
Thank you.
Dr. Henry Moisley, Green Dot Public Schools, opposed.
Thank you.
Susan Lang, parent at Golden Valley Charter School, opposed.
Thank you.
Allison Yakubitska, parent at Golden Valley Charter School. I'm also opposed.
Joanna Hola, parent at Golden Valley Charter School, in opposition to this bill.
Jody Graff, Director of Visions in Education in Sacramento, opposed.
Mary Welch, Area Superintendent for Aspire Public Schools, also opposed.
Chris Maheran, Director, Core Charter School, Camptonville Academy. And we have an aerospace program, some students presenting at Aviation Day, and you're welcome to hear about what they're learning.
Hi, Ruth Dutton, Principal Superintendent of Sycamore Valley Academy in Visalia, California. I wanted to just reiterate what others have said, that this seems to be a one-size-fits-all approach to, sounds like a potential problem in one place. I respectfully urge the committee to vote no on SB 329, as it will hamper charter school administrators' ability to efficiently operate their schools. Having just come through the process of developing a school and opening it in its third academic year, I know about the launch of a charter school. I simply cannot imagine that already arduous process with the added requirement of a competitive bidding process complicating the launch and ongoing operations of the charter. Thank you for your time.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Yolanda López.
Why you do not support SB 329? Why don't listen to the fathers? Why don't give me a better school? Why stop charter school? When my child go to the school, public school, in the kindergarten, 3 childs try to kill my son. And the district school no listen to me. Nobody listen to me. And I found a better school. My son is secure. And Mr. Senator Mendoza, you work for the fathers, right? No versus father. ¿Por qué trabajas? ¿Por qué trabajas? Tú trabajas para los padres, ¿verdad?
Por la gente de California, sí,
Ok.
claro.
¿Por qué no apoyas a los padres?
Los apoyo 100%.
No, porque nos quieres parar a las escuelas charter.
Voy a aclarar aquí.
Mi nombre es Eva Oviedo, soy mamá de 2 niños de la escuela Caliber de Richmond, una escuela charter. Mi niño tuvo 2 años en una escuela del distrito y nunca recibió el apoyo que él necesitaba. Fui al distrito, hablé con los maestros, con la directora y nunca recibí ayuda. Y es por eso que estoy en contra de la ley SB 329.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Norma Pérez. Yo estoy hoy en contra de la ley SB 329. Mi hija ha estado en una escuela del distrito. Esa escuela estuvo por 5 años en título 1. Nunca le dieron atención. Es la importancia que tiene un niño para ustedes. En esta escuela charter ha encontrado eso y más. Por eso queremos que nuestra escuela charter siga, que nos den para construir un lugar y todo, ¿verdad? Que usted nos apoye con eso, señor Mendoza.
Okay,
Gracias.
please just come to the microphone, introduce yourself, and tell me whether or not you are opposed to the bill.
Hola, mi nombre es Elena Oregón y yo vengo a ponerme en contra de la SB 329. Gracias.
Hola, mi nombre es Dalia García y yo soy orgullosamente una mamá de Caliber, una escuela charter. Yo estoy en contra de la ley SB 329.
Hello, my name is Ophelia Alonso. I'm a parent from Caliber Beta Academy, and I urge you to please oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
David McCreary, I'm an instructor at the Corps Academy, Camptonville. We are currently on the North Lawn with our advanced model aeronautics class that is only available through Corps Academy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Sorry. Hi, my name is Julie Bautista. Again, I'm a senior from KIPP San Jose Collegiate, and I oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julissa Barron, and I'm a senior at KIPP San Jose Collegiate, and I oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angela Lee from KIPP Bay Area Schools, and I oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Leticia Contreras. Yo tengo 2 hijos en 2 escuelas charter diferentes y me opongo a la SB 329.
Hola, mi nombre es Mireya. Yo tengo 4 niñas en la Charter School de Richmond y me opongo a la SB 329.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Martinez. I came for Caliber Beta School in Richmond, and I oppose to the SB 329. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susana Landeros. I came from Richmond, and I oppose to 329. I have a child in a charter school in Caliber. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, mi nombre es Lucero Vega. Soy abuela de 2 niñas de Richmond y me opongo a la 322.9.
Thank you.
Paul Kiefer, Pacific Charter Institute, and we oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
Mi nombre es Blanca Calderón y estoy en contra de la ley 329.
Thank you.
Mi nombre es María Ledesma y tengo 3 hijos en escuela charter y me opongo a esta ley.
My name is Eduardo Ledesma from Hercules, California. I have a student at Caliber Beta Academy in Richmond, also opposed.
Madam Chair and members, Brendan Tuig on behalf of Ed Voice in opposition.
My name is Montserrat, and I go to school in charter school in Richmond, and I oppose this bill. Hello, my name is Tiffany Acevedo, and I oppose this bill. I go to charter school in Richmond.
Thank you.
My name is Jocelyn Mendoza. I go to charter school in Richmond, and I oppose to SB 329.
My name is Samantha Rodriguez, and I oppose SB 329.
Thank you.
My name is Dali Gomez, and I oppose to SB 329.
Thank you.
My name is Lauren O'Neill, the Executive Director of Odyssey Charter School in the Pasadena area. Opposed.
My name is David Calderon. I'm from Richmond, California. My son goes to Caliber in Richmond Charter School in Richmond, California. From 8 to 6, he couldn't be in a better, happy place. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any others in opposition to the bill? Questions from members? I think we're all exhausted. The bill has been moved. Would you like to close? Senator Mendoza.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I know there was some discussion in the back. Some of the parents who came forward saying that why do I want to close their schools, which I don't want to close their schools. I just want to do 3 things. I want to create more transparency. I want to make sure that the school district that's authorizing has the capacity to oversee this district these charters that they're creating, and I want to also make sure that there's an assessment of the anticipated financial and educational impacts to nearby schools when they are created. So that's all we're doing. We're not shutting down charter schools. We're just making sure that we're creating more safeguards for our students and the folks that work at these charters. So with that, I respectfully ask for your high vote.
Thank you. Is the bill moved? Bill has been moved. Please call the roll.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Runner?
No.
Runner, no. Block? Block, aye. Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Leyva?
Aye.
Leyva, aye. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
No.
Vidak, no.
Okay.
7-2.
7-2, the bill is out. I think we're all here. Thank you, members. Let's go through the roll for one last time and close this session out.
Okay. 277's out.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go to number 3.
Item 3, SB 131, Canella.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair voting aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. It's 9-0.
9-0, the bill is out.
Okay. And then item number 5.
Item 5, SB 320, Laura.
Do pass to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. 9-0.
9-0, the bill is out. Item 6, SB 322, Leno.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair no. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
No.
Vidak, no. That's 7-2.
7-2, the bill is out. Item 7, I think everybody just voted on it, correct?
That's out.
That's out. Item 8, SB 376, Laura.
Do pass to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair no. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. That's 7-2.
7-2, the bill is out. Item 10, SB 451, Laura.
Do pass as amended. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair no. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. That's 8-1.
8-1, that bill is out. Item 11, SB 460, Allen.
Do pass to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye. 9-0.
9-0, that bill is out. Item 12, SB 499, Lou.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair no. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. 7-2.
7-2, that bill is out. Item 13, SB 548, De Leon.
Do pass to Labor and Industrial Relations. Lou?
Aye.
Lou?
Okay.
Lou, aye. Runner? No, sorry. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. Vidak?
No.
Vidak, no. 7-2.
7-2, that bill is out. Item 14, SB 605, gains.
Do pass as amended to appropriations. Chair voting aye. Vice Chair, aye. Block? Block, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan, aye. 9-0.
9-0, that bill is out. So we have 5 bills on consent. Item 2, SB 123, item 4, SB 313, item 9, SB 410, item 16, SB 708, and item 17, SB 725. Call the absent members, please.
That consent is out.
And consent is out, okay. Oh, it's all done?
Yes.
All right, so we'll see you next week for more fun and games. Thank you, members.